everyone, and welcome back for math. Today we're going to be focusing on telling time, but specifically just working with telling time to the hour. Now I'm making this more of a review since we have been practicing telling time to the hour, half hour, quarter of, and quarter past. So what I want to do first to set us up for our lesson today is I want to go over a few vocab words that we have been learning and talking about when it comes to telling time. As I say each of the vocab words, you will repeat back after me. Here we go. So we have clock. So I have a picture of a clock here. More specifically, our next vocab word is analog. So this is an example of an analog clock. Like we talked about before, you might have an analog clock at home. I said that I have an analog clock in my kitchen. And you might have an analog clock somewhere around your home. Then we have hour hand. So remember, the hour hand is the shorthand on the analog clock. So the hour hand is the shorthand and it tells us the hour. Next up we have minute hand, and the minute hand is the long hand. Okay? And then the last one is digital. And this is an example of digital time. So on my analog clock, I see here that the shorthand, which is the hour hand, is on the 7, and the long hand, which is the minute hand, is very close to the 5, but not on the 5. So the time I'm reading here is 7:24. So I'm showing you the difference between the time 7:24. This is the way it would look like on an analog clock, and this is the way you would see it on a digital clock. So today for our worksheet, materials that you are going to need is you're going to need the math worksheet that says hours at the top of it and just a pencil, okay? So when you have this out of your packet, you can just have it in front of you. I'm going to model an example on the math worksheet before then I have you try the rest on your own. So as I said, we're focusing specifically on the hour, okay? So we can see time two ways on the hour. We would see time written as blank o'clock. So if it's 8 o'clock, there would be an 8 here. If it was 12 o'clock, there'd be a 12 here. If it was 3 o'clock, there would be a 3 here. So it might be 3.00 for 3 o'clock, 8.00 for 8 o'clock, or 12.00 for 12 o'clock. We could also see to the hour written as blank o'clock, so we're just writing it out. And if you look at your worksheet, on the left-hand side of the column, you will see an analog clock / o'clock. So you're filling in what time that says. So what I'd like you to do is right now, if you have your worksheet in front of you, if you need an extra minute to find the worksheet out of your packet, remember the title should say hours. I'd like you to pause the video here and then press play again when you have it in front of you. For those of you that have the worksheet in front of you, our first step, just like we do every time we have a worksheet, is first and last name at the top. So as you're writing your first and last name, I'm going to write my name on the top of my worksheet. And we are going to do the first one together. So I'm going to look, we have two columns. We have a hand that has an L in it indicating the left side, and then we have a hand with an R in it indicating the right side. So we're going to start with the left side. Over here we see a picture of an analog clock, and we have to write what time it is. So let's look at the clock together. I notice that my hour hand, which is the small hand, is on the 6, and my long hand, which is my minute hand, is on the 12. Every time that the minute hand is on the 12, we know that it is blank o'clock. So blank.00 or blank.o'clock. So remember, the hour hand tells us what hour it is. So over here, my first clock is 6 o'clock. So I'm going to write the number 6 on that blank. indicating that my analog time is showing me that it's 6 o'clock. Then my next step is I'm going to match my analog clock to my digital time. So now I'm going to look for the clock on the right hand side, the one that has the hand with the R, to see where 6 o'clock is, and I'm going to draw a line to match it. So I have 6 o'clock shown in analog time, and I have 6 o'clock shown in digital time. Now it's going to be your turn to complete the rest on your own. You're going to look at the clock on the left-hand side as the analog clock and match it to the clock on the right-hand side, which is the digital time. Before I send you off to complete the rest on your own, I just wanted to review our vocab words. As I say them, you'll repeat back. So we have clock, hour hand, minute hand, analog, which is an example right here, and then digital, which is, this is the example of the digital time. Okay? So now your job is you're going to write what time it is on the left-hand side and match it to the same time on the digital side. This is a review, so you guys should be all set with it, and I know that you're going to do an excellent job. If possible, can you please have a parent or an adult take a picture of your worksheet, because I'd like to see what an excellent job you are doing, and they can send it to the number that I left in the packet. After you are done with math, it's going to be time for life skills, and I will see you all back in life skills.